I have found a website that is going to absolutely change the way that you search for homes. Many times when I have clients reaching out and they are searching for a home in Delaware, they often ask me, what is the flood number? And honestly, I had no idea what they were talking about because we don't really talk about flooding the way that other East Coast states talk about flooding, especially places like Florida or even not even on the East Coast, sometimes Texas, Louisiana. When I have clients that are moving from those states, they're often asking me about the flooding. And it's because those states are prone to flooding and hurricanes and tornadoes and everything else. And so they want to know what Delaware weather is like. And I tell them what Delaware weather is like, but they still want to know about flood insurance, about the flood number. And I have found a website, and I'm not going to gatekeep it. I have found a website that has completely changed the way that I talk about homes and just all of the potential risks that come with buying a certain type of property. So the website is riskfactor.com. And what you can do is you literally can type in the address of the property that you're looking at, and it's going to give you so much information. So today I want to look at 3 different properties, one in Newcastle County, one in Kent County, and one in Sussex County. And we're going to look at properties that are already on the market. So we're going to type in their addresses, and we are going to find out what the risk factor is for those addresses. And I really think that this is going to change the way that clients search for homes because they're going to be able to have so much information before seeing the home, before putting an offer in on the home, and before looking for homeowners insurance on a home. Now, I will say that homeowners insurance is not like Florida and it's not like Texas or Louisiana because we don't really have flooding and we really don't get hurricanes. Yes, we may get the off chance every few years that we get a little bit of a nor'easter, but really not hurricanes. So let's look at these 3 properties and let's look at the difference between Newcastle County, Kent County, and Sussex County. Okay, so the first property is in Newark. So I can see from this map, we do not really have any large bodies of water in Newcastle County or anything else like that. So let's just take a look. I'm going to take the address and we are going to put it right into riskfactor.com. So what you do is you put in the address and then it literally tells you what the flood factor is, the fire factor is, wind, air, and heat. It also tells you different things like, for example, that the air quality has changed in this area, or it may be poor in this area, or it may have a toxic pollution in the air. So let's just take a look and it breaks it down. So it says the flood factor, and then it will give you an overview of the different history, the current flood maps, everything else. So it looks like in this property in particular that the biggest risk here is wind, and also heat. I can say from personal experience that yes, the wind, we do get a lot of wind in Delaware. So this is just something to take into consideration, especially if you're looking for homeowners insurance. You want to make sure that you have a company that covers any wind damage that may happen to your home. So whether you're looking at an HO2 policy or an HO3 policy, I would 100% recommend that you have something in there that can help you with the wind damage. And then it will give you the maps and stuff like that. And then for air factor, the air quality, it depends what time of year it is. For example, in the summer, our air quality isn't the best, but it's because it's hot and it's humid. And then heat factor, 7 out of 10, that's pretty high. But the reason is because the weather is changing and Delaware I wouldn't say it gets up in the 100s a lot, but we definitely have touched 100 multiple times just this past summer. So then this will help you determine whether or not you are interested in a property. Now, keep in mind, At the closing table, you will need to sign a document that says that currently your house is not located in a flood zone, but if ever they were to change the flood zones, you would need to get flood insurance. Now, I often tell people if they're buying in Kent County or Newcastle County, if you're located in a flood zone in Kent County or Newcastle County, that really kind of means that Delaware is underwater because we're not very big. Okay. So let's take a look at the next one. So the next one is located in Camden, Wyoming. So that is in Kent County. So we'll take a look. Okay, so this one, the heat factor actually went up and the wind factor is about the same, but the fire factor went up. And that's because there has been wildfires in the county in the past. I don't remember ever seeing a wildfire in Kent County. So I would say it would definitely need to be at least at this point 20 to 40 years ago. I cannot remember any time there being wildfires. Now, do we sometimes get what I would consider droughts? Yes. Like just this past summer, it did not rain for a good amount of time. And yes, they do a lot of times put in burn bans, and it's ultimately to prevent wildfires, but never have I seen us go through an actual drought. Okay. So it does look like the flood factor is minimal. So if you are looking in this particular area of Kent County, you will not need to purchase flood insurance. And honestly, I would just say it's moderate for the fire factor, which means if it's in the summer, maybe don't have a bonfire out back that isn't contained. Just be smart about using, the outside fire pits. Once again, wind factor, we've talked about this. Delaware just gets a lot of wind, and it's because ultimately you have a lot of farmland, so you don't have any trees to really cut down on the wind that may smack into your house. So just like I said, just keep that in mind when you are looking for insurance, making sure that you have some kind of coverage on wind damage. And it does look like the air factor in Kent County is minor. Now, I do recognize that the heat factor has gone up in Kent County. I'm not sure why I would Kent County has a higher heat factor. The only thing I can think is because it's more south and it's technically closer to the equator. No. That's the only thing I can think of. All right. So the last one, I am very curious about this one. I purposely picked one that is in Rehoboth Beach because I wanted to see if the flood factor does change the closer you get to the beaches. So let's take a look at this one. And I'm doing this in real time, so I'm seeing these numbers just as you're seeing these numbers. Wow. Okay, so the flood factor actually didn't change. So this is actually really good to see because this tells me that not just because you purchase a property at the beaches does not mean that you automatically need flood insurance. If you are more inland, you probably don't need flood insurance, which is actually really good to know because I know that flood insurance is couple $1,000s a year, especially with Florida and Texas and Louisiana and all of those states down there in the Gulf getting hit with hurricanes, which seems like every single year. I can imagine that flood insurance anywhere else really is expensive. So the only thing I will say is that the wind factor did go up. Now, this makes total sense because the wind coming off of the ocean and the bay. So just something to keep in mind if you are looking to purchase near the beaches. Now, we do get nor'easters, which means, yes, there are some days where we get gusts. And I remember just this past winter, we did have gusts this one night, and it was like 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, which I know, like, obviously like compared to a hurricane, that's really not that bad, but it was just a nor'easter that we got those winds, and it was scary. It actually like knocked off a couple of my shingles. So definitely something to keep in mind if you are looking at in the beaches area that, yeah, you're going to get some more wind because you're right off of the ocean or right off of the bay. And the only thing I will say is that you don't really have a fire factor It seems like in this particular location in Rehoboth, you don't have a flood factor and the air quality is minimal. And the only thing that has changed is that it does seem like there are some dangerously hot days in Rehoboth. Yes, I will. Being that I lived in Rehoboth before, yes, there are definitely some days where it's hot. The only thing I will say is that if it was hot in Rehoboth and it's hot in Kent County, it actually feels cooler in Rehoboth because you have that wind coming off of the ocean. So something to keep in mind. If it's going to be hot that day, make sure you're in the AC, make sure you drink plenty of water, and maybe you go to the pool or the beach. But yes, this website is great because it definitely breaks down everything that you would need to know about the risks in any particular property. So if you are interested in an address, a particular address in Delaware, now I've only used this for Delaware. I don't know if it works for the rest of the states. So I definitely would check it out if you are looking in a different state. But if you are looking in Delaware, I think that this is the perfect website to look at before even going to look at a property. Because if you are someone that is like, I do not want to be in a place that I need flood insurance, then maybe check this out. Because if it has a high flood factor, it probably means that you shouldn't go see the house. It's not something for you. And a lot of times, I mean, although I think that you should know, a lot of times when their sellers are filling out their seller's disclosure, they don't know whether they have flood insurance. Although I personally think that you should know if you have flood insurance or not, especially with that hefty fee that comes with it. So I really hope this video helped. If it did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you are a buyer that is looking to purchase in Delaware, I would absolutely love the opportunity to help you. My information is down below in the description, so please feel free to send me an email. Or you can click on my calendar link and get set up with a one-on-one buyer consultation with me. If you are a seller that is looking to sell your property, I would also love the opportunity to help you. There's a link down below in the description for an instant valuation of what your home is worth, or you can send me an email and I can send you a personalized CMA. Once again, I really hope this video helped. If it did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, if you are thinking about moving to Delaware, you should definitely check out this video right here. And if you would love to tour Delaware communities with me, check out this playlist right here. And don't forget, subscribe to my channel.